Hi, sixth graders. Welcome to the week of April 26th to the 30th, the last week of April. So we're going to just reiterate that the vocabulary that we're doing in quarter four is based on some of the terminology or the vocabulary that you see in your Northern Lights textbook from Minnesota Studies that you have with Coach Brown, just so that these terms, because there is so much new vocabulary that you're learning in Minnesota Studies, that if you hear it with her, with Coach Brown, and then you hear it again with me explaining it, hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense and you'll remember it a little bit easier. Um, but I think it's tough. It's tough vocabulary to remember. So the first vocabulary word for the week is the Grange, and this is a noun. And the Grange is a nationwide farmers association. And what it did was it brought men and women, which I think is super cool, not just men, together as equals to share farming concerns and learn new farming techniques and have fun. And I wonder how equal it actually was for women. Hopefully it was. The second word is industrialists. And industrialists, anything that ends in an IST in English, like dentist, um, activist, industrialist, scientist. Those are always going to be nouns and always going to be people. So industrialists are people who owned or managed manufacturing businesses, and this could be like a flour mill, it could be a sawmill, could be any type of business where something is being made or manufactured. Also, like a car factory, like Ford back in the day. So the example here is Charles Pillsbury, an industrialist who invested in a failing flour mill. So a flour mill that was actually probably in danger of being closed down. It became one of the biggest flour mills in the entire world. Next word is bushel, and a bushel is a noun. It is a thing. It's a unit of measurement for agricultural crops that equals 1.25 cubic feet. So it's about this size. And I'm trying to look around my room and see if I could see something that's about that size. Probably, like this. So as much grain or as much wheat as you could put in that would be considered a bushel of wheat. And that's how it was sold. And the fourth term this week is iron ore. And iron ore is a noun, it is a thing. It's a rock or mineral from which iron can be removed. Iron is required to produce steel. And so in Minnesota, we actually have a part of Minnesota that is called the Iron Range, which is about, well, it's about 3 to 4 hours away. If any of you have ever been up near Ely, Minnesota, that's part of the Iron Range. There's a lot of iron workers up there, and there's a lot of people that are opposed to what's going on with the land and what iron workers are doing. But you do need iron in order to produce steel. And of course, if you know what steel is used for so many different things to make buildings, to make bridges. One of the strongest types of materials that you can use that holds up over long periods of time. And here you see a picture of iron ore. And here you see a picture of an open pit mine and how it really does, thinking about biomagic and how that oil rig was tapping miles and miles into the surface to get crude oil from below the surface of not the land, but under the water. And how, we're tapping into natural resources of the earth. And so this is kind of the same idea, right? When we go and get iron ore, it does take away from the world's natural resources. But is there a different solution to that? I don't really know. So the words for the week are the Grange Farmers Association, where men and women were treated as equal. Industrialists would be people who had manufacturing businesses that made things, created things. Bushel is a unit of measurement, which equals 1.25 cubic feet, and iron ore is a rock or mineral from which iron can be removed, and iron is what you need in order to produce steel. Thank you once again, sixth graders.